Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with another Manny chat. This week's theme, thanks to Tara Stoddard, is Strawberry Dreams. And I actually looked up a whole bunch of Pinterest ideas for Strawberry Dreams before finally deciding on my Manny. So I thought I'd share those with you guys before I actually do my Manny. I did have Panda Bear help me choose, so let's scroll through really quick and show you guys. So the literal Strawberry Dreams, strawberries dipped in chocolate. I've seen others do this already for the little challenge, so I didn't end up picking that, and Panda Bear didn't pick that. This one was a close second, Skinny Strawberry Dream. This drink here looks delicious, and that bright red color with a little frosted tip would have been really easy to do, but it didn't win. Strawberry Dream Belgium Candies. Panda Bear was not a fan of that one, and after I thought about it, me neither. This actually was the winner, but before I show the winner, Strawberry Dreams Starbucks drink, I thought of maybe using Color Street's Cotton Candy Swirl. Might have been cool with that, but the winner is Strawberry Dream Cookie Recipe, which I plan on making those cookies this weekend with my nieces. So it's going to be really perfect when I do a nail feat of the cookies along with the nail fees of my nails. So what I ended up deciding to do with this is I'm going to use Himalayan Salt as the cookie part. So you'll see there, Himalayan Salt. And then not really, I'm just kind of ignoring the cream part, but the sprinkles, the white sprinkles, I've got Over the Moon for that. And then the hearts are going to be the new one, Purrfect Match. I'm going to cut out parts of the red and the pink so that it makes the hearts, so that it would feel more cohesive. So that is what we're doing today. Let's set the timer. I know this is not going to happen. I just know it, that I'm probably going to make this a two-parter at least, knowing that we are going to, have a bunch of sets, 3 sets, and also having to punch hearts out of it and all of that. That's going to take a little bit. So we'll see if we can fit it into, maybe 2 parts at the most. But definitely not gonna, I don't know. I shouldn't knock myself before I try it. But here's 30 minutes and let's see if we can do it. Alright, so let's hurry up and open these sets up. But as I'm opening the sets up, those of you guys that are Lakers fans, or fans of LeBron James, King James has broken the record of most points scored in a career. The last Laker, the last basketball player in general to have held that record was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Record held since 1984, before even LeBron James was born. So, needless to say, it is definitely a moment in history for basketball fans to have witnessed that. And luckily Panda Bear, right before it happened, came and showed me, he's like, okay, watch. And I got to see it, so it was awesome. So thank you, Panda Bear. I used to grow up surrounded by basketball. My cousins, Scott and Andrew, were actually basketball players throughout their high school careers, I want to say. It probably was younger than high school even as well. But I grew up watching basketball, and although I'm not like a Lakers fan per se, I lived up in Northern California for a long while, and so I'm actually a Warriors fan. But I can appreciate the Lakers and King James and, this moment in history. So, plus Panda Bear is a huge Lakers fan, so I'm kind of a Lakers fan, like, honorary Lakers fan, I guess. So, yeah. But that's all I'll say on basketball. I just thought I'd had to mention it because, you know, it's a momentous day today, something to remember, and I wanted to just talk about really quick. So, we are exactly 1 week from Valentine's Day now. So, for those of you that don't know, Color Street on Monday, the 6th of February, he had launched a BOGO, buy one get one free, for all of their Valentine's Day sets. And I was so tempted to buy more than I actually had purchased, but I already have way too many sets. So what I did end up doing, though, is that I ended up purchasing a buy one get one, 2 sets that I knew my sister-in-law Carla would like. And so I purchased those for her, while I purchased for myself the Heartthrob limited edition lipstick that Color Street came out with on Monday. And I knew I had to make that purchase on Monday because, well, I was worried that some of the Valentine's Day sets would sell out. And I was definitely worried that my lipstick was going to sell out. So, needless to say, I didn't have to worry about the lipstick until today, because the Color Street Heartthrob lipstick did sell out today. But the strips that I ended up buying, the Valentine's Day sets that I ended up buying, were actually not sold out. They're still not sold out. And so I didn't have to worry about that. But some of the older throwback sets that Color Street had relaunched recently, those totally all sold out. So I already had purchased the ones I had wanted previously when they first launched that. So I didn't feel the need to make any further purchases. But every time you see like sold out sets, it's almost like I kind of wish I bought more, but like I said, I have way too many sets, so not gonna fret over that. All right, so and then of course today, for those that don't know, Color Street had launched their St. Patrick's Day sets, which included some throwback sets as well, and so I was all over those. I had to get Celtic Tales, both for myself and for Carla. And I had to get Total Seltdown, one of my all-time favorite glitter dipped ones. So again, both for myself and for Carla. And then I purchased a whole bunch of other sets. So I'm pretty much at my limit of spending for the rest of the month. So please, if you see me saying I need anything, tell me no. But yeah, anywho, so that's where we're at. I think I might be able to get away with just one for the pinky, like both pinkies, but I don't know. Just in case, I'm just gonna throw down 2, but if I don't end up using it, then I can seal them in with the others. But, it's been one heck of a roller coaster of a past few days. So, had a health scare with my mom on Thursday of last week. And luckily, she's okay. I mean, the pain that she was complaining about made us worry and think that it might have been her heart. So we kind of rushed her to the ER just in case. Luckily, it wasn't her heart, so, you know, not as serious. But still, any health scare, any pain. My mom, if you know her, is like a super strong woman. She would not, like, she won't say she's in pain unless she's absolutely, like, totally, like, in a lot of pain. And even, like, when she told us about it, the first thing is that, you know, she had thrown up. And so that's out of the ordinary. So that in itself was already like, what happened? So we were kind of worried. But my mom, being my mom, was like, I'm still going to work. And so even though she had thrown up, she had gone to work that night. She works graveyard shift. And then the next day, I was getting ready to head to work, and my mom had come home early from work, and I was like, what are you doing home early, Mom? And so when Panda Bear heard that, he was like, oh no, we're taking you to the ER. And so I had to let work know that, I had to work remotely that day and possibly, take time off. And so Panda Bear and I headed to the ER with my mom. Luckily, we were one of the first ones there. And so they were able to get my mom a room, like, straight away. So, and I'm not going to open this one fully yet because I don't know how many hearts I'm going to need. Okay. But let's go back. So anyways, while I was waiting in the waiting room of the ER, and Panda Bear was with my mom in her designated room in the ER, I was still doing work. I had packed my work laptop with me, and I was working off of that as well as my work mobile phone. But my work laptop, I didn't know how long we'd be there, so I didn't bring, like, the plug to, keep the power source going. And so, needless to say, we were there for quite a long while, and I was letting Panda Bear know, oh, hey, like, my laptop battery just, it's given out on me, so I don't know how much more work I can do while waiting. And he was like, oh, like, your mom is not done here. Like, we're not done here. The tests that they had her do were inconclusive, and so they were still going to be there for a bit. So he called my dad and told my dad to come pick me up. And so yeah, my dad came and picked me up, and I was able to, head home with my dad and work from home while we waited. Panda Bear and my mom stayed in the ER and waited for results. Anyways, by the time she got home, it was like over 6 hours of being at the ER, and doctors jokingly told her that they wanted to take her gallbladder out, and we were like, no, let's wait on that, and we're gonna try and heal her holistically. So anyways, she came home. She was really weak. It was really scary seeing my mom that way because, even with, her, when we all got COVID last June, she wasn't as weak as she looked when she came back from the ER. So I got a little worried. But I checked on her every half hour that night, and Panda Bear was really great of, taking care of my mom. Friday, I worked remotely as well because I just knew that if I went into work, the commute to the office, worrying about my mom, I wouldn't have been able to get very much work done. And so I worked remotely on Friday as well, and worked well late into the evening while checking on my mom every half hour. I set my little Fitbit to every half hour to check on her. And so, yeah. Luckily, she seems to be in good spirits now, to the point where, after the weekend of watching her and making sure, like, first it was, clear liquids diet with, Jello and applesauce and antibiotics that were prescribed to her, and some other things. I don't know what else Panda Bear would have given my mom, but basically in the span of less than a week, we were able to get her back to her normal self because this morning I woke up and I was getting ready to go to work and my mom was missing. And I was like, oh my God, like what? I had thought she said that, you know, she didn't have work until Friday. So I freaked out this morning, not knowing where she was. So I sent her a text and I'm like, where are you? And so, yeah, I was like, hey Panda, my mom's not home. And he's like, well, maybe she's in the bathroom. And so, you know, I was in the bathroom earlier and I was like, no, she's not in the bathroom. So of course I had to check our other bathroom just in case. And I sneakily checked in on my dad. I know that sounds really gross. But I was like, well, maybe she and my dad decided to have a morning. Anyways, long story short, she wasn't there. So then I looked outside and I saw that her car was missing. And so I was like, huh, her car's missing. And so Panda Bear looked at his GPS and was like, your mom's car's by the cemetery. I'm like, wait, by the cemetery? What? And so I'm here freaking out this morning before heading to the office. But anyways, later on, he's like, oh, wait, the GPS was like a little bit off. And she's actually near her workplace. So she must have gone to work. So then I felt better and I was like, okay, fine. And so Panda Bear took me to the office, and by the time I got to the office and settled in, my mom had texted back, went to work, and I was like, okay, so that confirms, you know, she went to work. But she had a good laugh because she thought I was funny to worry about her, but how am I not supposed to worry about her? Like, she literally, like, when we were at the ER, when she told us about the pain, she didn't make it sound like it was like as like serious, but where she was pointing at the pain, you know, we didn't want to ignore it because my dad had some similar pain that he had mentioned. Only he ignored it. He's like, oh, maybe I had food poisoning or I had gas or whatever. And then 3 days later of ignoring it, he had a heart attack. So, you know, we thought it was my mom's heart because of all of that. But luckily, after all the tests, it wasn't that. And so, you know, crisis averted. But it's been crazy. Let me tell you, it's been crazy. So there's that, dealing with that. And then Saturday evening, we had gone to Carla's to spend some time with her and the kiddos. And I don't know, you parents out there, I don't know how you deal with children that, you know, terrible twos or worse. Someone who's 4 years old that is very persistent. So there was a lot of, you know, I don't want to say drama because it's not drama, like, but it was quite, exhausting. I'll just say that. Very exhausting. Carla, I don't know how you do it as a single mom raising, you know, these children of yours. I love them, but luckily auntie and uncle don't have to be around them 24/7. But oh my gosh, the littlest one was like relentless. Like, she wanted 5 more minutes of TV, which is like, no, it's already past your bedtime. No more TV. And yeah, it was exhausting. So Sunday, of course, when Sunday rolled around, Panda Bear knew that the best thing for us to do was to lay low for most of the day. We did have a comedy show that we were scheduled to go see. So, you know, since my mom was in better spirits and all that, we were like, okay, we can still go. So, during the daytime, like, I totally just vegged out because, oh, and I forgot to mention on Saturday too. So Saturday when I was at home before we went to Carla's, I worked like a lot. like, I don't remember how many hours, almost a full day's of work, while checking in on my mom every so often. And so, I was already beat tired by the time we were, heading over to Carla's. So that certainly didn't help, dealing with the littlest one when she was throwing her tantrum. So yeah. Anyway, so Sunday, laid low. My friend Na just had her birthday on Monday. But we're not celebrating it until later this month. And then she and I have seen Magic Mike and Magic Mike 2. And so she asked if Carla and I want to go see Magic Mike 3 with her sometime. And so that's coming out like this Friday, but we're probably not going to see it till like next month, just because scheduling and there's just a lot to do. So likely won't see it until March. But I was like, I don't even remember everything that happened in the first 2 movies. And I know Carla needs to still see those movies because I don't think she's seen them at all. So I spent most of Sunday like binge watching Magic Mike and Magic Mike 2. So yeah. And one of my favorite comedians, Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, is in both of those movies. So really awesome. I almost had forgotten like how many scenes he had in the movies. So that was pretty cool. And then Twitch, may he rest in peace, from So You Think You Could Dance fame. And, you know, he was in the second one. And so I had really enjoyed just seeing him dance. And it was a nice escape before we went to go see comedy. And speaking of Fluffy, we had actually gone to see his friend Martin Moreno perform. So that was a lot of fun. And before we went to the show, Panda Bear asked me to pick the restaurant. So we ended up at a seafood place, which I really wanted to go to a seafood place because, 1, I love seafood, but 2, on Saturday it was my dad's, or my father-in-law, I should say, Marcelo Panda Bear and Carla's dad, his 2-year death anniversary. And so, you know, really wanted to have some seafood in his honor. So yeah, we ended up at Cha Cha's Latin Kitchen, and let me tell you, their food is amazing, and their drinks are strong. So, if you know that reference about the drinks are strong, from Encanto, you'll know what I mean, but like, yeah. Really nice date night with Panda Bear. Very, 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 very happy that the weekend ended on a high note rather than, you know, after all the stuff we dealt with since Thursday. It was very nice to just be able to laugh and just enjoy each other's company. So yeah. But Monday came, and Monday was super stressful. Like super, super stressful, to the point where when I got home, you know, I did play basketball. I promised Panda Bear I would play basketball and lift weights this week because we indulged over the weekend. And so now we're kind of like cutting back during the weekdays, and I need to kind of up my activity. So we played basketball, and I lifted weights, and then had dinner, and I literally like passed out. Like, I was so tired, like really, really tired. So yeah. But yeah, of course that happened, and miscommunication, thinking my mom wasn't going to be going to work until Friday, or Thursday night, I should say. Yeah, when I woke up and she wasn't here, I freaking flipped out. So, but everything's all good. So yeah. So my hands are super cold. So you're seeing, like, okay. So if this is your first time here, hi, Wendy from Cali. Love doing my nails and chit-chatting about life. And Color Street, 100% dry nail polish. But the thing is that you're supposed to apply it at room temperature. So not too hot, not too cold. But my hands are flipping cold right now, and I don't know why. It could be a stress response. I did have a lot of protein without sugar, so that could possibly be why my hands are flipping cold. And when it's cold, it's hard to lay down, especially the solids. It's hard to lay them down, like, really smoothly. So I'm kind of a little frustrated with that, and that's my fault. I know one of the channels and one of the Color Street enthusiasts that are in certain Facebook groups that I'm in, Melissa, she has a warming pad, and she said that doesn't matter if California is like going to be warm or whatever, warming pad would be great for the strips all year. And now I'm kind of like thinking that she might be right, because right now my hands are super cold and the strips are not as sticky as they could be. Granted that they're still sticking, so, you know, I'm okay for now, but I can feel it. I can feel that they don't want to stick as well as they should. And so kind of think I might need to add that to my wish list, a warming pad. So, but yeah, my hands are super cold right now, so don't know how well these will lay down. If these don't last me for the week, then I guess I'll have to do, you know, another mixed mani. But hoping that it'll at least last long enough for a few days so that I can make those Strawberry Dream cookies and take a nail fee with them before I have to swap it out. So we'll see if we can salvage this. Let's see, what time am I at? I know I've been talking way too much. Yeah, obviously this is going to be more than a one part, so it's going to be at least 2 parts. Talk too much. That is I. Surprisingly though, when I was a little girl, in the 2nd grade, my teacher actually told my parents that I'm very bright, very smart, but I needed to talk more. So, I must be overcompensating for that. But yeah, in 3rd grade, the middle of 3rd grade, I moved from Southern California to Northern California, and met my best friend Lynn. We were actually 3rd grade, like they just returned, I think, from like winter break or something, and there was a substitute teacher. And the substitute had me get in front of the whole class, shy girl that I was, and introduce myself and tell everyone where I lived, which I think to this day I'm just like, wow, like, do schools even allow people to do that anymore? It seems like an invasion of privacy. But anyways, so, you know, I had to get up there and talk in front of all these students that I didn't know, because, you know, my first day, and told everyone I lived on Spring Valley Lane, and the substitute was like, oh, anyone else live on Spring Valley Lane? And this girl, this tiny girl, raised her hand. And so fast forward to the end of the day, and my mom had come pick me up from school. This was before she worked. and I saw Lynn and her sister walking home from school, and I was like, oh, hey, Mom, that girl lives down the street from us. Well, my mom being my mom, pulls the car over right in front of Lynn and her sister, and it was like, would you guys like a ride home? Yeah. Lynn and her sister were like freaking out, and like you could see them silently shake their heads no and walk fast like away from the car. So yeah, my mom ended up, meeting Lynn's mom, and then we became fast friends. But like, yeah, that was my first day living up in Milpitas. First day of school. Never gonna forget that memory. Lynn, if you're watching this, do you remember that day? I would love to hear your side of the story. But yeah, anywho, so, I don't even know how we got to talking about that. Oh yeah, because I talk a lot. So when I was in 3rd grade, I didn't really talk a lot. I do talk a lot when I get to know people and I'm like really close with people, and then sometimes I dominate the conversations. But when it comes to like meeting strangers and like, all that, I'm still kind of more introverted than extroverted. I kind of like to just be on the sidelines, especially like in crowds, like in big groups and stuff like that. I kind of like to lay low. I don't really like going out to super crowded places. I get kind of like social anxiety around that kind of stuff. So yeah, nothing a few drinks won't fix, but not the biggest fan of drinking too much anymore. My brother will tell you that he's had to scream "know my limits" to me more than a time or two when we were young. And I know my drink limit back in the days, 13 drinks. 13 included shots, included mixed drinks, included a flaming Bacardi 151 shot. That night I had 13 drinks and I felt fine until we got back to my sister-in-law, Abby's car. So at the time, she was just my brother's girlfriend. And we got in her car. I drank an orange vitamin water. See, there we go. Part 2 coming soon. Okay. But I drank an orange vitamin water and I threw it all up in the backseat of her car. So I made sure to get her car detailed the next day. But yeah, my brother, vividly remember my brother in the front seat, front passenger seat, screaming, "Know your limit!" To me in the back seat while Abby was driving us home. So yeah, that was probably one of the only times I've ever drank to the point where I threw up. But, that's what happens in your early 20s. Okay, it doesn't happen to everyone in their early 20s. That's what happened in my early 20s. But I used to enjoy having loads of fun with my friend Lily, with my friends Lindsay and Aaron, Raina. Gosh, who else did I party with? Just too many people. But yeah, I always felt comfortable so long as I was surrounded by people that I knew and trust. So yeah, but you won't ever see me like that at this current age because I don't actually drink that much or that often anymore. Despite what people may think and people may remember of my past, I've grown out of that phase. And so yeah. But, you know, it was fun while it lasted. I didn't stop, whatchamacallit, I didn't stop, like, being shy and quiet until I had met my friend Elizabeth. In 5th grade, I had, before 5th grade, I should tell you. So, you know, I moved to a new city and a new school, middle of 3rd grade, right? Well, summer after 4th grade, my parents had me go take a test, and they didn't tell me what that test was about. And so I took it, and then my parents shipped me and my brother and sister to Southern California to stay with my grandmother, who spoke almost no English, for the summer. And so we had loads of fun, my brother and I, trying to scare my sister, pretending that we had an older brother named John, who passed away when he was younger, and he was coming back to meet my sister, Michelle. Kids are evil. My brother and I were evil. We scared my sister so bad. But anyways, that's a story for another time, I'm sure. But, what was I saying? Yeah, so that was, summer of right after 4th grade, before 5th grade. And so when that happened, when my parents came to pick us up and take us back up north, my parents shared the news with me that, oh, hey, by the way, you are going to another school. What? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, that test you took, Gifted and Talented Education, GATE. I don't know if any of you guys out there ever were part of GATE or heard of GATE, but that is what they categorized me and placed me in another school. 5th grade. First time I ever got detention was in 5th grade in GATE. So I personally didn't feel like I was gifted and talented. Certainly not compared to some of the other students that were in the class. And so I was, yeah. Anyways, long time ago, long story. But that's how I met my friend Elizabeth. And then from being friends with Elizabeth and in band, I really wanted to play the saxophone. But my dad was like, no, the saxophone's too expensive. You have to buy all the reeds and yada, yada, yada. I was a huge fan of The Simpsons and Lisa Simpson, and I really, really wanted to play the saxophone. But my dad had his way because he's the one who's paying the bills. So I ended up playing the flute. And that's how I met Elizabeth. She